Hello, anatomists. Michele Glass here, and we are continuing our study of the veins in this video. So to keep up with our same pattern, we want to look at how the blood is making its way back to the heart. So here we're going to focus on the upper appendage and the thoracic cavity. So let's begin by looking at the veins of the hand, and we're going to see again our digital veins just like we had in our toes. Now remember, to sort of save time, I will not always write the word vein, and I may not always say the word vein, but that is of course part of your study. Now we can see, especially in the hand, that we have superficial veins, which are shown by the light blue color, and then we have deep veins, which are shown by the dark blue color. And this is important because those superficial veins can help us cool our body by bringing that warm blood to the surface, so the heat can actually be transmitted to the atmosphere. And the deeper veins are important in helping to keep our internal structures warm, keeping the heat in our body. So looking at these lighter blue on the hand, we're going to call these superficial palmar arches. And then the darker blue we will see here is deep palmar arches. Now, if you're printing your packet and you don't have a colored printer, an easy and pretty cheap fix is just to get a nice little cheap set, $1 set of colored pencils or markers and add in your own colors. Okay, running from the deep palmar arches, we see the radial vein, which is deep. And then we have another deep vein of the forearm, which is called the ulnar. And remember that your ulnar is going to be on your lateral, on your medial pinky finger side, whereas your radial is going to be on your lateral or thumb side. The radial and the ulnar veins are going to feed into the brachial. Brachial is, of course, talking about the arm, which is the humerus bone. If we go back to the forearm, we can see that those superficial palmar arches are going to feed into what we can see here as the median from middle antebrachial, where that prefix ante, antebrachial, means like before the arm. We also see here, and actually also in the arm itself, a superficial vein called the cephalic. Moving back to the forearm, we can see on the medial side, we have a superficial vein in the forearm and also in the arm itself called basilic. We have connecting the basilic and the cephalic at the elbow, what's called the median cubital. And the term cubital there means forearm or elbow region. So that's how we're getting that name. The basilic and the brachial vein feeds into the axillary, which is, of course, talking about your armpit region. And then the axillary, together with the cephalic, will feed into the subclavian. Now, all of these are going to be found on both the left and the right side. Subclavian feeds into the brachiocephalic, which then is, of course, feeding into the superior vena cava. Draining the thoracic cavity, we have, just like our arteries, we have veins in between each rib, and we call these collectively intercostals. We have this section right here is a piece of the inferior vena cava. We can also see right here, so this would be posterior to the heart, a vein called the azygos. And this term actually just means unpaired or single. And then we can see right here, hemi-azygos. And I see that that's hard to read, so I am going to bring my label down so that we can more easily see that. As I double check my notes, I see that we have labeled what we need to label for the upper appendage and the thoracic cavity. And so stay tuned for our next video looking at the veins that drain the head and neck and bring that blood back to the heart. And as always, take care of yourselves and each other.